Jumping right into NPH 840, Research Methods for Public Health. One of the first things that we got to do is we have to define research, and we have to understand why people do research. Now, this video is going to start off with me here providing my perspective. So whenever we start looking at research or evaluating knowledge, it's important for us to understand why the person who generated that knowledge is doing so. What's their motivation? What's their reason for doing it? In this case, my background is primarily in academics and government. So that's the perspective you're going to get, so it's important to be aware of that. We'll cover some other perspectives that are out there here in a few minutes. So what is research? So the United States government has a definition, for a good reason, by the way. Their definition is a systematic investigation, or the systematic investigation, including research development, testing, and evaluation. It's designed to develop or contribute to generalizable knowledge. So anything that the United States government is spending money on, or even institutions where the federal government is spending money, if they're engaged in this, they're engaged in research, and they need to have rules and policies in place to ensure that they're complying with federal laws. So there's a lot there in that definition, but one, it's a systematic investigation, and it contributes or develops to the contribution of generalizable knowledge. It's similar to the definition by Oxford Dictionary. The systematic investigation into and the study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. So a literature review by itself is not research. It contributes towards research. It's research when it's able to help establish facts and research new conclusions. So just listing them isn't enough. Actually using it for establishing facts or reaching new conclusions. So why do people do research? What are the reasons for why they do research? And I'm going to start off with the nice ones, the flowery ones, the pretty ones. It's our sense of duty. People who do research may just generally be curious and trying to find out the facts, trying to discover something new can be satisfying. You're contributing potentially to a better world. It's active engagement. It's an active contribution. If everybody tried to figure out what makes the world better, it would be an ethical thing. Now we can spin that the other way around too. If everybody tried to figure out how to destroy the world and what methods best to do that, it could be an evil thing or a bad thing. You can imagine some people could have flawed reasons for doing research to harm people. All right. Usually we like to think, though, that we do it because we're trying to gather information or knowledge to empower change. We're trying to maybe raise awareness around a topic, maybe evaluate processes that can make something more efficient or better for people. We want to create maybe a better society. Some people do it because they're skeptical of what the current belief structure is or the current set of facts. They're skeptical of whether or not the facts are in fact the fact. There might be a better explanation. Some people do research just because they see value in it. It's got value within itself. Other people do it for less popular reasons. They may do it because it's an employable job skill set. You can get paid more money potentially being an effective researcher than doing other things in our society. It could be the fact that this is their job. Doing research is a requirement. They may have had this motivation of curiosity and satisfying when they started learning about it, but then they've lost some of that excitement, and now they do it just because it's their job. Some people do it because they have it as a job and they really enjoy doing it. They love doing research. I'm hardwired that way. I really like research. I enjoy it. Some people do it because of their ego. They want to publish a lot of papers, they want to get a lot of money, and a lot of it's about their pride. So it's not always the most flattering reason, but it's a truth. It's out there. People do it for those reasons. Some people do it so that they can do a better job educating people. Some people do it because there's financial rewards beyond just employability. You can think of, if you make a product and the product benefits society in some way, you might be able to make money off of it. There's incentives here. So sometimes it's not just contributing, sometimes you can incentivize it. So these are all just some of the reasons, probably not all of them, on why people might do research. The famous American astrophysicist, Neil deGrasse Tyson, a lot of people have seen him on YouTube or wherever. His big quote on this topic is, "For me, I'm driven by two main philosophies. Know more today about the world than I knew yesterday, and lessen the suffering of others." And you'd be surprised at how far that gets you. Some perspectives on what is research. So Neil Armstrong, Ohioan, one of our nation's first astronauts, first one to go to the moon. So research is creating new knowledge. So again, this is this creation of new knowledge. Einstein's quote on this: "If we knew what we were doing, it would not be called research." So it's kind of going into the unknown. Again, I was at a commencement speech where former U.S. Senator John Glenn, he's since passed away, Marine Corps pilot, first American to orbit the Earth, oldest American to go in outer space. Senator Glenn said, "These two words describe an attitude of curiosity and of action." And those two words are "why not?" So in whatever field your interest may lie, "why not" inspires you to look into the unknown, into the as yet untried, to search for possible improvements. This attitude of curiosity can move you ahead as an individual and all of us ahead as a nation. So ask why not. So how do we do that? How do we become an effective researcher? So we can go back in time to an earlier kind of astrophysicist, but broad-ranging scientist, just Isaac Newton, Sir Isaac Newton. He said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." So how do we stand on the shoulders of giants in the modern era? So in the next videos, we're going to look at how to access knowledge and how those models on knowledge access have been changing. We're also going to focus on how to use tools to help you evaluate knowledge quality in a quick or easy way, where you're relying possibly on some other giants to help you do that. Google Scholar is a recent innovation in the last several years that some folks have not had a lot of experience with, but their motto at the bottom of it is "stand on the shoulders of giants." So they're taking that quote from Sir Isaac Newton and putting it out there for you. So we're going to focus on how to use some metrics here in the next videos to help you be able to do your first assignment, where you're going to do some literature search and also evaluate the quality of that literature. So I'm going to stop the video here and get you into the accessing knowledge piece for the next video.